Hi, I hope you are okay, and if not, I hope that this process ends sooner and you get the most benefit for this process, right? Today, I have a topic that is related with the tree of life. What it is important because sometimes we do not be conscious that we are our own roots and our own trunk, and sometimes we believe that we just we are part of some systems, some connections with, for example, our family, our work, our friends, but we are depending of them and not as an individual process that everyone has, right? So today it is important to remember that because it will be necessary in this time. As I mentioned in other video, uh, we come from the plan of life and now we are talking about the tree of life. And it is coming a lot of challenge in the next days, months, inside this year, because we are open and start to connect our own Wi-Fi with the origin, right? We are getting more connection with the original, and we are getting more information back from that original to us. So in order to pass those challenges and get those goals, achievement, and get those benefits and the blessings back, we need to understand where are we placed, who we are, what is our role in this process, and it is kind of significant and important that the tree, it is a figure or object that is related with everything, right? It is related with how we see how it is growing, how we can get that similar information to our own path on their own growth, and how we relate with others too. So for example, uh, if we have a seed and we put it in the earth, right? We start give it to that air the vitamins and the nutrimental um, sales, and also the water that is needed for that growing back from the seed. It is the same as it happens when we are previous on before we born, when we are inside our mothers, and our mother, it is that channel from we get all the things that we need, all the nutritional all the food, all the oxygen that we need, right, to start to grow up. And even that our mother give us all the things that we need, and also they are uh, give all the things that it needs to grow up. It depends of each one if we grow up or not. It is in one point of this process that if the baby it is not getting enough as it needs, it will be maybe not possible that comes to born, right? As the same as the plant, that maybe it not possible that the seed grow up more through that air and start give us the plant, and also the maybe in the case of the tree give us those the trunk and the branches, also the that vitality that is showing in the trees, and maybe some kind of trees have fruit, right? They maybe that it is the blessings that arise with that. So it is important that we figure out where we are and how we reference with others. So to through that branches we do the connect with other trees, and maybe it is the connection that we have with our family, uh, with our family members, or with the team members in the work, or our friends, or whatever action that we are going to do. In the Kabbalah process, the tree of life, it is each section of our life that we need to conquer and that we need to develop, right? Instead of the how can I say, the curiosity and the plan and the path that we have in our life. Mm, but also from the perspective of another religion as Catholic ones, also the tree is related with the fruits that give us the conscience of what is good and what is bad, from the original sin, right? And how we related with this process. So take it out if for with a road that you get information about the trees and how to relate with the trees. It is for technique observation or it is for more spirituality process. The most important is how do you refer with them, how to look you and how you move on, because as mentioned, the tree of life is something that is related with us, with our path of life, that we come to this life to live, but also give us the reference on who I am and who I want to be, right? And also how I reference with my family. If you see there is other tree, that is a tree or family, and inside this tree it tells you what is your position related of the rest of members family, and what is the role that you play inside of it, right? Or maybe if you see an organization chart in a company, also it tells you in what position or what level inside of the company it is your job, that must be developed, and also tell you what are the expertise that you have inside of that organization, right? And also maybe include a description of all the tools that you already have, all the knowledge that you already have, the advantage that they will get if they contact you are related with that position, right? It is the same inside of our family or our friends uh, relationships, right? And with our lovers, it is also how I see that my tree it is linked to the tree of my partner. In what branches we are linked and what are different or are in the opposite side, that maybe I grow up in a different how can I say, in a different form that you expect, or maybe they some branches that are not growing up as you expect, right? That maybe those branches that will not continue because you are focused in another process. So refer us as the trunk and as the roots. It will be the best form that we pass all the challenges that are coming uh, in this year and the next ones. But also, do not forget who we are and what is the proposal that we live this life. So, when you start to getting more challenge or whatever challenge that you have in front now, the most important is how you feel about it. What remembers to you, what is in the steps or the position that give you more in how can I say, uncomfort and also discomfort of what is happened, right? Why I'm reacting like that with this situation, or how is possible that I feel too bad for this situation, or why I feel that I'm not enough or good enough to conquer the situation, right? What I feel that it is pending for me to learn to um, get more guidance, or be more focused, right? So the first thing it is whatever is happening in your context, how it is referring to your own plan. And after that, remember that you are the trunk, you are that column that get the first impact, right? And you are the only one that can be able to decide what is the next step, what is the next movement, or what is the next play to move, right? What is the next role to play in this process? So it is important that always focus in yourself, and after, when you are in, how can I say, without judgment, in alignment with yourself, then take the decision how you will react and what is the next step, and then see how this process is related with others, right? Because sometimes we need to mark some limits to others, and sometimes we invite others, uh, like take the same road that we are getting, but also it could be sometimes that we need to say goodbye to someone's because they are no longer part of this part of life that we already live, right? And that we are trying to discover why it is important for us to live that process too. And always reference to yourself, focus in yourself, because if you are not okay, it will be impossible that you help others. It will be really hard and really exhausted to try to help others if you are not okay. Sometimes we forget about us, we forget to be focused on us, and it is more exciting, and it is more, how can I say, interesting, the life of others than us, that our own life, right? So they invite us today, our guidance guides, to return to us, to return ourselves, to return to that trunk, to that roots, to that seed, and see how it is movement with the environment, with what is happening around it. Imagine that sometimes you need to be more flexible in order to continue your path, but you don't want to be flexible, right? What will happen? Maybe you stop your own growth. Maybe it coming more challenge that will pushing you to move on and be that flexible that is needed, or it maybe doesn't change nothing, but it is coming a new challenge that it will be more hard than the current one that you have it and you don't want to live, right? So today we need to be more focused in ourselves and ask us how I want to live this process. If I want to live in a position that I say this is what really good, this is what's really bad, or just in the middle and do not over come to the endings and have that explosions of those feelings, right? And also, for example, sometimes we think that we need to save others or be the heroes for others, but the first word that we have it is to be our own heroes, um, our own Superman, own Superwoman, just for us. If we are fine, maybe with our process, we can teach others or guidance others to move on from themselves. But we cannot move them if they don't want, if they don't like it, or if they don't see as benefit as you can see for live that process. Sometimes we reflect in others and we use them as a mirror to see what is pending in us to move on. So today, the tree of life is tell us return to yourself, return to your own trunk, and see how stronger it is, how flexible could be, um, how well it looks, or it needs some fix fix in them, that some vitamins to be more stronger, or maybe stop what already you do because it will be dangerous for you, right? And maybe sometimes you think that it is not important the place that we or the role that we play, but imagine that you are see your history as a movie, right? How you like to be part in that movie as just an one that see it and see that everyone move on and continue their lives, but you continue in your same place without changes, of as the antagonist, or the one that's how can I say, the villain, the bad guy that is always think that it is everyone uh, trying to push and try to punish him or her, right? That everybody is wrong and he or she is the only one that has the knowledge, that has the truth about everything that is happening around it. Or you want to be the first actor, the one that lives the process even if the things goes wrong, but it is the one that takes responsibility of their own path and try to live those steps that will be move on near to the final goal. And the final goal is return to the origin. So whatever are you doing now, it is just live the experience of life, but the end, everyone's going to have the same end. Because if we want to do that transition to the other planes, it will be without our physical body. So then for everybody it is already tell us that will be that end. So what you are focused, do not arrive to that end. Be more focused on experience the opportunities and how you want to be related with the situations that you already live, right? Also, our guidance guys tell us that we can request help from them. How we can request help? We can request guidance and just close our eyes and open our ears and be without think, without how can I say, like meditation, that you are not think a lot of, you just close those things, those maybe memories that are around our brain, and we are showing those ideas that maybe we could not process, and just stop to do that and just be patient, and maybe we get a word, maybe we get a vision or picture what is the next step, or maybe when we are in the car and listen to our playlist and we know all the kind of music that we like, maybe start to song to sing a song that is not related with that kind of music that we listen every time, right? So there is the other clue. Or also maybe when you listen a conversation, and maybe in one point of that conversation, maybe an idea that enter in your ear and your brain, and you say, oh, that match with the process that I'm living now, right? That is some other process that you get that guidance. So be patient with the guidance that our angels, our guidance guys are trying to bring us in this process. Everyone can hear them. It is just to give them the permission and give yourself the permission to connect with them. Another thing that is important, it is to increase your vibration energy, and one of the process to increase it, it will be the derivation in the night, as I explained in other video. When you connect with the original, whatever original that you believe, but the most important is do that connection, and you start seeing your day as a movie or some pictures, and you see it before you go to sleep, and you start to tell that story, right, as a movie, quickly passing your mind. And after that, you mention your complete name, your address, your zip code, your country, and say that you are from the earth, from planet number 3. And with that, we do that connection. It is like you do that refresh in your system. For example, when you erase all the temporal files in your computer, right, that is the same process that you do with this derivation. So you give more space to your system, and maybe you can be more in touch with other processes that are happening around to you, that at the first you are not be able to see because you are already focusing one thing, right? But when you do that is upgrade, and do that cleaning in your process before to go to sleep, then you do the space to arrive more things. So the pass of the days, you will see that you are living different your current reality as before you lived, with a new one. Maybe you catch more the guidance that our guidance team wants to tell us, those angels that want to leave us those messages back. And maybe you be more focused in yourself and be more in the reality, and do not take a position as the good ones or the bad ones, just in the middle without judgment, and see what is happening around us, right? And also passing those challenges that are coming to us in this year. And remember that you are your own trunk, your roots, and that is the most important, how you can apply the tree of life in your life in this process. Because sometimes we focus on the theory, on the method, or how much knowledge we could have in something, but that is not the most important. The most important it is how you apply it. What are the benefits that you get when you apply it, or what are the corrections that you see when you apply it, and also get those lessons in order to continue growing your own path, right? Okay, if you have troubles to be connect with the reality, or see what is the reality trying to tell you, you can contact me. We can arrange a meeting one-to-one through Zoom tools, or if you live here in Jalisco, in Zapopan, we can see in person, right? We can arrange a meeting too, but if not, it could be through these tools that could help you to have that conscious and be more conscious of what reality try to tell you. You can find me as Miriam Catalina on Facebook and YouTube, and as Miriam Catalina 157 on Instagram and TikTok. And also you have some cycle of close process, and if you want to get more help to do that process of close, to get some techniques for do that process, also you can contact me. I can help you also with that, so we can be in touch. And let's see what is the message for today from our guidance guys. They are not only angels, they are um, persons that want to help us to increase that conscious, right, in our arounds. So prepare your question. You are ready for it, and I will take this card. It's related to feel, how can I say, uh, in Spanish is huella de abandono, and it's related with someone's leave us and how you feel with that process and how you process that living, that you step on or keep in one point and the other people move on and leave you without explanation, without context of what happened, that you really feel bad for um, that movement, that for that living for that person. So they tell us that we need to be focused on that signals of someone that leave us and it hurts in our heart that we have from some or one of our lowest ones, right? And they tell us that we do not need to change the other. The change is inside of us, and also they invite us to have more relationships and friends that give us value and they are compromised with our road back too. Also, they tell us that we need to work in our how can I say, connection with the place that we already are. Why? Sometimes we think that maybe we move another place, maybe we change that work that we are really released today, or if we change our friendships without conscious before of why I think that will be better if I move on. Maybe we forget and lose the, how can I say, we lose the conscience and the lesson that we need to learn there. Maybe we think that out of whatever is happening us now, it will be better than what we are living now, right? But what our guidance tell us it is that we need to work to be more in this present, not thinking out a lot about the future or that change that maybe could happen, maybe not could happen, but live the present. Feel good wherever you are now, and be sure that it is important that you live this process because from it you will learn more about yourself, about the situation, and how to move on the next step. Maybe get some tools, some benefits, some blessing for that challenge that you conquer. But what happens if you don't give you the chance to live it? What will happen? What did you imagine that will happen? Maybe this challenge is smaller, and maybe the next one could be more hard than was this current one, right? And it will become bigger and maybe then bigger, that it will not give you opportunity to go out of it, that you must to conquer, yes or yes. You are not could be linked for that situation, that you need to be focused on resolve it and how to solution arrives to you to move on the next step, right? So how do you prefer to live it? Now that is small, that maybe is uncomfortable for you, that maybe it is something that is discomfort for you now, but it is not as big as that could be in the future if you are not put attention in that, in this process. So they invite us to be okay when we are now, to request guidance to see what lesson must to be learned in this process and live this process and be the actor of your movie, right? So we see us in another video. Bye bye.